Let's go. We are back. It is your favorite fucking coach. Let's get it, baby. Happy Monday. Monday. Let's get it. You can have your weekends too, baby. Yep, we're going to get this popping. Let's get it. What is going on? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. All right. Oh. It's going to be a good one today, fam. As you guys are pulling up, let me know how your day's going in the comments. We're going to rock and roll here in a second. We need people 1 minute to join. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, IG. What is popping? Drop some fire in the comments. You guys are ready to level up today. It's going to be a great episode. I'm going to really scream into this microphone. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. I think a lot of people are going to need to hear this. Let's get it. What is popping? TikTok, drop some fire. IG, drop some fire. Let's go. We're going to be talking about how to have the weekends too, why that's important. I'm going to be covering some of my best practices. So without further ado, let's count it down from 5. This is going to be lit. 4, here we go. 3, we're going to change your life. 2, lots of value. Maybe take some notes. 1, and I'm going to lower this, and we're going to do this. Cool. Boom. What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Shift Your Mind, Change Your Life podcast. This is your favorite coach, Coach Sal. Let's get it. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can have your weekends to enjoy yourself and progress towards your fitness goals. Probably thinking, yo, is that even possible? And it is. And truthfully, I think it's important to have a life outside of the gym. Now, there's a lot of people that'll argue that, oh, what do you mean? You should grind. Like, what are you talking about? Balance. Like, honestly, I want to be transparent. Like, I'm not a robot. Like, you need to have both in order to sustain this. And like, truthfully for me, like, I view the weekends as an opportunity for me to recharge, as an opportunity for me to maybe catch up on sleep from the week. Cause I get up early, right? And I have a tendency to go to bed late. Like, I work a lot. I push myself. I serve my clients. I'm doing a lot of things on a daily basis. But if you're not taking the time to recharge, then eventually you're going to burn out, which is why I think it's important to understand this concept, right? Like, I'm not saying, hey, like, go out and rage every weekend and booze your face off, but like, maybe being really calculated with how you're spending your energy and your time on weekends could really allow you to show up with more energy, intensity, and enthusiasm throughout the week. Otherwise, if you're always on go, then eventually you're going to burn out. And I really do talk a lot about that with my clients too. Like, I still enjoy myself, and I really wanted to give you guys some of my best practices. Now, as always, I like to give you guys some context and tell you stories about who I was, because I think it's important to understand that I wasn't always in a position where I felt really confident about these things. Honestly, for majority of my life, I struggled with the all or nothing mindset. Let me know if you guys battle that in any way, in any shape or form. Let me know and drop some comments, drop some emojis, whatever the case may be, if that's something you battle with, because I think there's a lot of people who may feel that way, who may think it has to look perfect in order to move the needle, right? But truthfully, I'll be honest with you guys, it was that exact mindset that kept me stuck for majority of my life. And I think there's a lot of people that I work with who come into the program and feel that way. But here's the thing, is that you need to be okay with 80%. Because in reality, it will never be perfect. It will never be 100%. That's still something that I'm working on to this day, right? And I was really laser focused with my prep, but like, that level of intensity is not something that people do year round. Even professional bodybuilders, they have an off season for a reason, because you do have to give yourself time to recharge so that you can continue to come back and serve at your most optimal self. Without recharging, then it's difficult to do that, right? Be strategic with your efforts, I think, is super important. Like, it looks like this, like, hypothetical. I'll give you guys an example. Like, it's having a quality breakfast and then maybe going to a restaurant for lunch with your friends and family. Like, you can do both, right? Like, why can't you do both? And then even more so, this is something that I focus on too, is like being calculated with my rest days. And what that means is that if I know I want to enjoy myself on the weekend, then maybe I'll use the weekend as a calculated rest day and I'll plan ahead in advance, right? Does that make sense? Like, that's truthfully what I believe in, because continuously allowing the weekends to look at that as a recharge will give you the energy, the confidence to keep coming back during the week and serving at your best self, right? Like, for example, this weekend, I knew I was going to a pool party on Saturday, right? So I made sure that I got up an hour early, right? And I made sure that I got my workout before I went. And then I went and enjoyed myself. So the question that I have for you guys is that, Why can't you do both? Why does it have to be all or nothing? And me and my clients, my team right now are truly focused on that inside of my program, is saying, hey, like, let's just focus on some small needle movers every single day and do the best that you can. Because as always, that I talk about on this podcast, something is better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. Like tracking your nutrition throughout the week, enjoying yourself on the weekend in moderation, and nailing your steps throughout the week, nailing your workouts, getting good sleep, lots of water. Like that's the thing. And then the other side of it too, well, if you know you're doing something, right, you know you're traveling on the weekends, then planning ahead. Maybe throughout the week you get some extra steps. Maybe you lower your calories a bit throughout the week to maybe earn those extra calories on the weekend. Think about that for a second, because that is something that I've seen work really well for myself and my best clients, is understanding that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, that it doesn't have to be 100%. Honestly, I think if you could stay at like 80% year round, that over time will allow you to move the needle much further than just going 100 miles an hour for a couple of weeks and then burning out and going back to the same habits. Like the goal is to continuously move the needle. So if you're not using the weekends to recharge, then eventually you will burn out. And that's something we really need to focus on here. Does that make sense? Is that valuable so far? If it is and you're hearing me clearly, drop some fire in the chat. I want to know if you guys are here with me. Yes, Sasha, I'm talking about the all or nothing mindset. Chain goes hard. Yo, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. What other comments do we have here? I want to scroll through this really fast. Boxes are brief. Edgar, appreciate the follow. Is that making sense for you guys? If so, let me know, because I think this concept is super important to understand. Now, I want you guys to think of fitness as a lifelong journey, because it truthfully is, and I made a post about that this morning. It's something that you're going to be working at for quite some time. So I really want you guys to let go and stop thinking of like 60, 90 days, and then taking your foot off the gas, because entertain that thought for a second. Like, let's say you have a 90-day goal and then you get there. Well, then what happens, right? What are you going to do? Just stop? And I used to do that. I used to trick, because I grew up in New York, right? So it gets cold and people love to grind in the winter. But then once the winter ends and you're in summer mode, you have a tendency to take your foot off the gas. But that's not how you keep seeing progress. So I want you guys to try and think of it from that perspective, right? Like stop thinking 60, 90 days. Like I want you guys to truly think of it as a lifelong journey, because that is what it is. And when you come at it from that perspective, that will allow you to see longevity in your fitness journey. Because it's one thing to lose the weight, and then it's another thing to keep it off, right? And then it's another thing to build muscle on top of that. It's another thing to maybe cut down some body fat and add lean muscle tissue, body recomp, lean bulking, right? Maintenance phase. It truly doesn't end. So thinking about it from that point of view, then that is going to allow you to shift that perspective and be able to make this a lifelong journey, because that is what it is. You can't let that mentality hold you back. You get excited thinking about all the things you're doing in the short term, but what about the long term, right? So to recap really quick and highlight some things here that are truly important to continue seeing results in your fitness journey, is to understand that you can have your weekends too. You need balance to continuously recharge and show up as your best self. If you're really looking ahead and being intentional with your goals, then why can't you keep making progress? Why not, right? It doesn't have to be all work, no play. If anything, that's a recipe for burnout. I do think it's healthy long-term to find some balance. And now the other point to that too, it's really knowing yourself, right? And becoming self-aware. And that takes reps. Like there's seasons to grind, right? Like, again, I always use the example of my prep for my last bodybuilding show. And for that period of time, the 4 or 5 months that I was prepping for the show, then yes, that was a grind mode season, right? But now off season, I'm not doing nearly as much cardio. I'm not being as strict with my calories, because that's going to allow me to recharge. So the next time I go into a prep, I'm ready to go, because I've given myself that leeway. There's seasons to grind. There's seasons to chill. It's okay. But it's not okay to completely take your foot off the gas. And I truly believe that if you're able to view that with this type of belief, then over time, you're going to see much more sustainable, realistic progress. And like I said, I think that comes down to truly knowing yourself and becoming self-aware. And that's simply just reps. That's simply effort followed and executed over and over again. But if you don't start, then how will you build that skill set, right? Like you need to take action with this and get relentless now to figure out what you truly want. I wanted to leave you guys with this. There is no time to waste. There is no time to waste. And the sooner that you could get in the trenches and figure out what it is that you want and you take relentless, messy action towards that, eventually you will move the needle. You will see some progress. You'll get excited and you want to build on that. And you understand, hey, I need to exercise. I need to eat clean. But oftentimes it is your mindset, perspective, and belief that will carry you forward for longer periods of time. And these are some things that have really helped me and my clients, like I said. So guys, I really hope that you can get some value from this. Please take what I'm saying here and implement, because again, digesting this information without implementation is a waste of time. So in order to enjoy your weekends and keep seeing results in your fitness journey, I want you guys to let go of the all or nothing mentality. It will never be 100%. If you could operate at 80%, for majority of the time, I think that will serve you a lot better. That will be more healthy, more realistic, and sustainable, because that's what I've seen work really well for me and my team. So guys, that is it. That is all. Peace, love, and protein, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, how often should we have a day off from the gym? I only train 5 days a week. I break that up, and I normally don't usually train more than 3 days in a row. So that's a good question, Miguel. I appreciate you. You should slow down and take breaths when you talk. TikTok always be throwing some hate, man. All right, you want to take a breath? Shut up, guy. What else do we have? L haircut. Yo. Mika, I come from a gym family. Facts. I appreciate you. Denny's or IHOP? Probably go to IHOP. What else? Change the UPS because you have Jesus Christ. Working out is a long-term commitment. You reap what you sow. I couldn't agree more. Micah, I hope I'm saying that right, but I appreciate those comments. Thank you. So, guys, that is it. That is all. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you got some value. Drop your biggest takeaways in the comments. As always, you can catch these audio-only replays in the link in my bio under my podcast. I record all these audios and I repurpose them into my podcast so that way more people could access this information throughout the day, whether you're cooking, walking, driving, whatever the case may be. I want to make sure that this information is easily accessible. So if you want to check out my podcast, hit the link in my bio. It is there, or you could search it up on Spotify. It's called the SVF Fitness Shift Your Mind, Change Your Life podcast. That is it. That is all. Hope you guys have the best day of your entire lives, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.